Welcome to the quarter-final round of the 1940s Teacher Battleship Tournament. We've had two rounds before in the two play-in rounds where Mr. Wong's Austria-Hungarian ship, the Von Beust, took down my Chinese ship, the Zhongchang, and Mr. Wong, again, his Spanish ship, the Avro de Bazin, took down Mr. Hale's United States ship, the USS Spider. So, we have the 8 remaining teams in this quarter-final battle, and today is Mr. McEwan with his German ship, the Hans Gruber, taking on Mr. Wong's Austria-Hungarian Von Beust. So this is the fight that will happen today. Now, the damage gets reset, so any damage that the Von Beust, of course, took during the tournament does not get taken into account, so both ships are at 100%. This is a fight purely based on design. So, we're going to head right into the fight, where we're going to actually control Austria-Hungary, because they are the lower seed. Get the German Reich on there, too. 15,000 meters. Let's design the ships, and let's make sure that each ship is, the correct ship is selected for each nation. So this is the Hans Gruber. No, not the Hans Gruber. This is the Von Beust. Reminder of the Von Beust. It is 80,652 tons, speed of 24 knots, 3 dual-barrel 18-inch guns, 4 dual-barrel 8-inch guns, and 2 dual-barrel 4-inch guns. 2 8-inch guns, actually. 2 4-inch guns. If you hear any banging in the background, it's the room beside me. We're doing a little bit of work. So, as we head over to the German side, we need to make sure this is selected. This ship is the Hans Gruber. It says the 1940 edition. Technically not the 1940s, as there were 2 variations of it made. Mr. McEwan said it could also be called the Hans Gruber GPT, because he used ChatGPT to decide the measurements of it. A recap of the Hans Gruber GPT. It is 111,780 tons, speed of 27 knots. She has 4 dual-barrel 8-inch guns, 6 triple-barrel 6-inch guns, and 4 triple-barrel 5-inch guns. That is her. So, we're going to launch, and hopefully it gets the right ship. So we're going to look at this bottom here, make sure, the Von Beust, and the Hans Gruber GPT gets selected, which it did. So, the correct ship is fighting now, so we don't have to restart the battle like we did last episode. So, we have the Von Beust taking on the Hans Gruber. May the best ship win. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's rain again. Stormy weather, gale, wind, and rough seas. The last time that this ship fought, it was also that type of weather. Great. This is just fantastic. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be great. So Hans Gruber is already launched. And so have we. Our secondaries are targeting. Angle appears to be there. Problem, let's these. I think I actually move these. Yes. This side. So they're not in range at all. So it looks like we're just working with the primary, and so is the Hans Gruber GPT. So, Austria-Hungary, of course, didn't exist in 1940, so the game has a lot of German design elements. So it's basically Germany versus Germany in this. So, miss, and a hit. Oh, partial pen on the main belt. We do have a hit on the Von Beust. It's the first hit, and we do have hits on the Hans Gruber. They were just blocked, so this is gonna be a long, drawn-out battle. A very, very long, drawn-out battle. see in the distance where the Hans Gruber is, and the Hans Gruber is firing their main guns, and so are we in retaliation. So these 8-inch guns, they have basically the same reloading as the other one. We have 3, they have 4, but, you know, they fire and then we fire. So it's a pretty quick firing succession. Here comes the shells from the Hans Gruber. That's a miss. That's a hit, and that's a hit, that's a hit. Oh, wow, okay. Aft belt penetration, and main belt partial pen. With rudder damage, fire, and flooding. But we do have the first hit. Secondary tower, partial pen on the Hans Gruber. 98% structure, 99 buoyancy. Our rudder is damaged. We have a fire in the rear, and we are flooding in the rear compartment. Hans Gruber has no such damage. 100% structural damage still, and 100% buoyancy. Again, if you hear the voices in the background, it is my family. We are doing work. So, it's 98 for buoyancy. Rudder is no longer damaged on the Von Beust, which is good. So, as you see, the shells from the Hans Gruber coming in and then falling down. This plunging fire is dangerous. From the Germans, oof, partial pen on the main belt, 4 belt, partial pen as well. Damage to the main gun, 97% structure, 97% buoyancy. We're about to see the Hans Gruber get hit, so let's see what the damage is on that, and it is all misses. For the Von Beust. Okay. Well then. Yeah. Yeah, that's how that's gonna go. Ooh, firing at the same time that time, alright. I believe this gun can fire anymore, this rear gun here. I don't think it can fire. 96% buoyancy, 97% structural integrity. The Hans Gruber is 100 and 100. With the secondary tower only being hit. Oh, you can see the shells at the top here get crossed over. Here we go. Hit. 4 hits. 4 belt and main belt partial pen. 96% structural integrity. But we do hit the aft belt and we set the Hans Gruber on fire. Von Beust, 96% structural damage and 95% buoyancy. The Hans Gruber is 100 and 100 with fire. So the fire should tick down that structural damage down to at least the 99. And here go the guns from the big ships firing off once again. 94 buoyancy now for the Von Beust. Whoops. And I lost POV over for a second. Let's see. Hans Gruber still at 100, but still on fire. Again, no secondary armament for either ship at the moment. It's just 18-inch main guns firing. 18-inchers versus the 18-inchers. Ooh. 4 belt, partial pen. And then ricochets on it, except for that. 4 belt, main belt, partial pen. 95% structure, 93% buoyancy, and the Von Beust is on fire. Hans Gruber is now at a 99% structural damage. Still 100% buoyancy and still on fire. Meanwhile, the Von Beust is on fire and it's still flooding in this one singular compartment. There is a fire in the front bottom of the ship, which is rising up into, I think this is where the barbettes are. So there is a fire near or in around the barbette, which is not going to be good. But we'll see. Ooh, that lightning strike was awesome. Alright, she's about 20.6 kilometers away. Are we getting closer or not as the shells come in? Miss, but we hit the main belt partial pen on the Hans Gruber. However, we do have a 4 belt partial pen on us. 91% buoyancy, 95% structural damage on the Hans Gruber. It's 98% structural integrity with 100% buoyancy. 20.6 is still the distance between the two great ships. So I think they are going side by side currently, as to keep the guns trained as much as possible. So we see the shells up top cross by each other. Hans Gruber's and my shells. So we're going to get the next round of damage dealt. So we have an 89% buoyancy, 95% structure. The fire is gone on the Von Beust, and we have a secondary tower partial pen, on the Hans Gruber. And we have a aft belt partial pen on the Von Beust, but the fire restarts in the rear, in the bottom right here. With flooding still happening, so 88% buoyancy and 94%. Ooh, rudder damage. Yep, we have rudder damage on the Von Beust now. Probably because of the flooding compartment. Over here we have 98% structure and 100% buoyancy. That secondary tower at a yellow right now. So that's not good there. Red in the rear here from some massive hits. Rudder damage, that's not good. Probably from the aft belt hit is what damaged the rudder. So we're about to get... the Von Beust is actually firing now a lot faster than the Hans Gruber. Which we're going to see some shells coming in. And ricochet. But we do have main tower penetration. Main belt partial pen on the Von Beust. It looks like all missed on the Hans Gruber, which is at 98% still. We have 93% structural integrity, 88% buoyancy. No flooding, no fires, but our rudder is damaged. So turning is going to be a little hard. We see a rudder peering out of the water right there. So we've fired, and now they've fired, and there's our shells coming at them. So let's hope we can get a hit, maybe, on them. We got closer. Yes, we do. Aft belt partial pen on the Hans Gruber. And here comes the incoming fire from the Hans Gruber. And it is a ricochet, and ricochet. So no damage for the Von Beust this time. 93% structural integrity, 88% buoyancy as we fire another round at the Hans Gruber. And the Hans Gruber is at 97% structural integrity and 100% buoyancy. That secondary tower taking damage. The compartments and the main belt area around the Hans Gruber also taking some damage. And their rudder section is also taking some damage as well. So the Hans Gruber has fired over in the distance. We can see the shells light up the sky. And we have our plunging fire coming down. We are getting closer. It was 20.5 kilometers out. Now we are 20.4 kilometers out as we await a hit. Yes, main belt partial pen hit. So on them, as we see the shells coming in, just quick 96% structural integrity damage for them. Here we go. Ricochet, and a... Oh, no, we do have a 4-belt partial pen. But of the 8 shells that were launched, only 1 actually dealt damage. And it didn't really show up. So still 93, still 88. And a rudder damage on Hans Gruber, it is 96 still, and 100 buoyancy. So these ships are dealing it out. But the Hans Gruber going 17.5 compared to the 27 knots she's capable of. And the Hans Gruber going 20 compared to the 27 she's capable of. The Von Beust top speed is 24, so she's going 17. So each... Oh, no, we do have an aft-built partial pen, and the Hans Gruber is on fire from the Von Beust hit. And it's the stern, the very stern of the ship is on fire by the rudder. 95. Oh, we have 4-belt partial pen and a fire. 4-belt partial pen. 4-belt partial pen for the Von Beust, but 95% structural damage for the Hans Gruber with 100% buoyancy. Now we look back at us. We have 93 with a fire and 88 buoyancy. There. Man, we gotta fix that rudder. Okay. Doesn't look like that rudder's gonna get fixed this time. It was fixed last time. I remember in the playing round, the Von Beust rudder got damaged, but they fixed it pretty quickly. And the shells land around the Hans Gruber, or at least will be landing on the Hans Gruber very soon. Ricochet. So no damage on the Hans Gruber this time around. There's still a fire going on at us as we see the German shells coming in, but the 18 inchers are about to go off for us. And they do. Boom. Partial pen on the 4-belt. Partial pen on the 4-belt, and that's about it. Still holding strong at 93%. So we're trying to turn the ship. We're trying to get this rear gun here turned and able to fire. With no luck. Still the main guns only. So Hans Gruber fires her thing. No more fire on the Von Beust. Still that rudder damage, though. And Hans Gruber, as we see the fire coming in towards them, all misses. 95% structural integrity. Stern hits, so I think she's running away if I see it. If I click on her and I go to her, nope, she's pointing to the side. Just like the Von Beust, which we have a ricochet. Ricochet and blocked, but we do have a main gun partial pen, so the front two guns have taken slight damage, but that's about it. As we see the shells coming in towards the lightning in this game is so cool. But no, I was literally talking to Mr. Wong today, actually, and we were talking about the conditions of the previous fight that the Von Beust was in, saying we really, really hope that the conditions are not the same. Well, the conditions are the same, if not worse. So, might be something with the Von Beust or something. Oh, miss on the Hans Gruber. So you reload the 18-inch guns and they fire away again. That rear turret's still not going off, so we still have to turn around. And ooh, secondary gun destroyed. Secondary gun over penetration, main belt partial pen, main tower penetration, and main gun partial pen. 91% structural damage, 88% buoyancy. It's the secondary gun that's right there, I believe. I think it's this side of it. Yeah. Yeah, no, this 4-incher right here has been destroyed. But we do have a main tower partial pen on the Hans Gruber, so we did hit back. 95% structural damage compared to our 91, and 88% buoyancy, as the rear stern compartment did indeed flood. So we're firing, and there we go, that third turret. Getting to work now. It's 18.4 kilometers away. Main belt partial pen, main gun partial pen, 4-belt partial pen, and the main gun partial pen. We now have fire and 90% structural integrity. I think we need to start closing this gap a little bit. As much as we can with this rudder damage. Fire in the bow and barbette section. Hans Gruber's about to get hit, and it's a main belt partial pen, and a 4-belt partial pen. We have 90% structural integrity with 88% buoyancy. They have 92 structural with 100% buoyancy. It's just trading hits at this point. Their hull's a lot bigger, though. Or they're a lot taller of a hull. We are split into small 3 compartments, and they are split into some pretty big 3 compartments there. Von Beust. Oh, we have main and F belt partial pen, and a main belt partial pen, and main belt partial pen. Funnel penetration, 4-belt partial pen, 89% structure, 88% float buoyancy, with fire now on these 2 bottom compartments. 92% structure. Oh, no, massive hits. Main belt partial pen, 4-belt partial pen, and another main belt partial pen. Brings it down to 89% structural integrity with a fire on the Hans Gruber. 88 structure for the Von Beust, 89 for the Hans Gruber. So they are trading hits and just trading hits with each other is like a good boxers do. Wait, what the thing is, main belt partial pen, main gun. Oh, we have flooding, damage to the main tower pen, main belt partial pen, main belt pen, and main gun partial pen. So we're now flooding in this compartment here, 87% structural integrity, still 88% buoyancy. Hans Gruber gets hit, main belt partial pen, 4-belt partial pen, and a 4-belt partial pen. And Hans Gruber is on fire now, 87 structure, 100% buoyancy. We are at 87 structure, 88 buoyancy. But the flooding is here, but it does not appear to be affecting us much. So, Hans Gruber has fired back now. They're 17.1 kilometers out now, so we are converging ever slowly on the Hans Gruber. She's able to fire all 4 of her guns, and we're only able to fire 2, but doesn't seem. Main tower pen, 4 belt pen, main belt pen, main gun pen, and 4 belt penetration as well. 86% structure, and that flooding is not affecting us anymore. There's fire there, but we do have an aft belt partial pen hit on the Hans Gruber, bringing it also down to 86% structural integrity. The flooding is now here in this compartment instead of there, and it has gone down 1% buoyancy. So now it's gone down 2. Okay, so this is flooding now. This compartment. So we're going to have about 2 compartments flooded now, I'm going to guess. Nothing there. 86 structure and buoyancy for us, and the Hans Gruber has 86 structure, 100% buoyancy. Now it's 85, and here we go. Main tower pen. Main tower pen with on fire again. The main tower is taking a lot of hits. Now we're down to 85 buoyancy. Ricochet on the Hans Gruber. 84 buoyancy now, so now that compartment is indeed flooding it. 16.8, but we are tilted way towards them crossing the T, so flotation's at 83%. Going to see as we send another volley towards them. We're trying to penetrate that armor. Doesn't look like it's penetrated much. Maybe a little bit, but not enough. Fires are gone, but the ricochets, and ricochets. So 82% buoyancy, as this compartment will flood. So we'll have 2 compartments flooded, but we do have main belt partial penetration on the Hans Gruber, which brings it down to 86% structural damage with 86 structural damage. 81% buoyancy, though, for the Hans Gruber. She is the only one to have flooded, but the flooding is gone and controlled, so it's 81 is the final buoyancy count. They fire their guns, and we fire in succession. I do like this fight. This is a pretty heavyweight fight. Pretty heavyweight. This is 18-inch guns. Launch an attack. So here we go. Damage to the main tower. Penetration. Main gun partial pen with 4 ricochets, but the Hans Gruber's aft belt is partially penetrated with fire now. So we're at 86% structural integrity, 81% buoyancy, and they are at 85% structural integrity, 100% buoyancy. So our structural damage is now different, and they've taken more structural damage now. So yeah. Look at that. Again, just 2 17-inch guns. Yeah, trying the best they can do to knock the other ship out first. It's going to be a lot of damage here, maybe. Ricochets, and ricochets. But we do have a main belt partial pen and block on the Hans Gruber. So 86 and 81 still. The numbers do not change. The rudder is still damaged on the Von Beust, but she is still turning, still making way with it. Slight damage to the funnel, so one of the 3 funnels on the Von Beust, which is affecting her speed just a tiny bit, but not doing much to affect it. As we fire our guns and they fire theirs, the Germans and the Austrians. 85 structure, 100% buoyancy, 86 structure, 81% buoyancy. Very limited flying in this front compartment, which is good. I believe we have anti-flood 2. Yeah, anti-flood 2. Here we go. They hit main belt, main gun, partial pen, and the main belt partial pen as well. And Hans Gruber looks like it's all misses. So 86 is still the structural integrity with a fire erupting in this bottom compartment here. 85 still here. Yep, it's right here. Right there's the fire. And that'll align with that compartment right there. It was 16.8 kilometers at one point. Now it's 17.4. So I think Hans Gruber is turning away. They are. Still able to fire all their guns, so let's start turning that way now as well. Ricocheted off, but we do have a main belt partial pen on them, but they main belt and main gun 4-belt partial pen, but a funnel penetration now on the Von Beust, 85% structural damage, and Hans Gruber's also 85% structural damage. We also still have that rudder damage, so turning to face the running away ship is not doing much. I do think that's where the main gun's pointed. I wish to think of the one barrel fire. Maybe, but you can't do that in the game. Yeah, this back turret cannot rotate far enough. It needs to either be farther out, or this needs to be shorter. But we do have a main belt partial pen on the Hans Gruber as the fire comes in. We have main belt and 4-belt partial pen, and another main belt partial pen. It's 84% structural integrity, 81%, 85% for the Hans Gruber. I'm going to speed up the battle. This is 17.4 kilometers out now. It's 17.8. Main gun hit. The fire on these two compartments here. We do hit the main gun and the main belt. Ricochet hits. 84 structure, 81 buoyancy, 84 structure with Hans Gruber. I'm waiting for something interesting to happen. Damage to the main tower. The main tower pen. 84 structure. 70. Whoa. What do we hit? Secondary gun. Over penetration. Brought it down to 79 structural integrity. Now that's a massive hit. There are 84, 81 buoyancy. Yep, secondary gun is destroyed, and a secondary gun over pen, which hit with a lot of force. Like I said, waiting for that one breakaway hit. See if the odds can change a little bit here. Looks like the ABXY turret of the Hans Gruber has also taken some slight damage. So we have, I believe, fired our shells, but we see the Germans coming in first. Miss over there, but a main gun partial pen. 3 ricochet, bringing the structural integrity still to 84 as we fire our guns back. 17.9 is the distance now, as they are a lot quicker than we are. In Stormy Seas, 79% structural integrity for them. They fire their guns, and we do hit aft-belt partial pen with it being on fire. Now, 78% structural, and it's a massive hit towards the rear turret. As you can see, a lot of those compartments in the stern on fire now. But here comes their volley. This is just a heavyweight boxing match. 2 misses. 1 hit. Main gun partial pen. Brought it to a yellow now, but looks like only 2 of their guns can fire now. So it's a 2 18 inches on 2 18 inches. We're going to speed up again. Waiting for any big deals of damage. Blocks and blocks, huh? Yep, just a bunch of blocks right now. So the armor is now doing the work. We have a main gun partial pen. Brought the ship on fire. It's still 84 structure, though. Hans Gruber still at 78. 10.9 damage. But we do have a main gun partial pen, 23.3 now. Again, not much of a breakaway hit. It looks like Hans Gruber is turned. So that all the guns can fire? Yep. Yeah, she is. Okay. Ricochets. Oh! Ooh, main gun penetration. Main gun is destroyed on the Hans Gruber. Maybe XY turrets. X. It's the X turret. 78% structural damage, but that takes out a lot of it. Main tower, partial pen. Main belt, partial pen. And main tower pen. 77% structural integrity now. For the Hans Gruber, but ooh, massive, massive hits. But oh, wow, massive, massive, massive hits now. Okay. Hold on. Main belt, partial pen, and a 4-belt partial pen brings us down to 81% structural integrity and now on fire. However, main belt penetration, 4-belt partial pen, and a 4-belt penetration brings the Hans Gruber down to 74, and she is now flooding with 99% buoyancy. 15 kilometers now is the distance. So the guns are doing their work again. Main gun, partial pen, half belt, partial pen, main tower, partial pen, 80% structural integrity, 81 for us. And then they had a main belt, partial pen, main belt pen, and a main tower, partial pen. 97% buoyancy as the flooding stops. On the map at least, and 71% structural. Oh nope, flooding has started in another compartment for them. This is just a heavyweight battle here. Just a heavyweight battle. I forgot the battle was on ×5 for a second. So they're firing HE. 4-belt, main belt, partial pen, but they get F belt, main gun, main tower, and main belt, partial pen. We have 77% structure, 81% buoyancy. They have 70% structure, 97% buoyancy. Now they're on fire and flooding, and now it's a 96% buoyancy. So they're firing the HE. Our secondary 8-inch now is getting into it. Is theirs? No, their secondary is a 6-inchers. They're not getting into it, but the 8-inchers are. No ammo left in the HE for the 18-inchers. It's just going to be armor piercing now for the main guns on the Von Beust. And we only have 121 of them. For 3 turrets. As the ricochets happen. Main belt, partial pen. Half belt pen. Wow, a lot of damage now. We have damage to the funnel, damage to the belts and the main tower. They had main belt partial penetration. They're 69 structure, 95% buoyancy. We are on 75% structure, 81% buoyancy. There's a lot more red on our ship, but they have a lot more damage where it counts. We do not. Looks like the stern is flooding a little bit on them. We are on fire around the bow. Major fire on the bow. I don't want to fire AP here. Fire HE on the secondary shells. I want the secondary shells to be high explosive as it comes in. Blocked. 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 What's HE? It's not actually firing. Why aren't they firing? Are they out of range? What's the range of you guys? Your guys' range is HE 12.9. 15.1. So you won't fire if you're doing HE. But you will fire when you're doing AP. Okay. Man, that sucks. Alright. 75 structure, 81% buoyancy. They have 69% structure, 92% buoyancy. And they're firing HE shells, so. Blocked, 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 and blocked. As we fire armor piercing. Right towards them. Trying to pierce the armor. We've had 22% losses. What does the Hans Gruber had? 18.1. Oh, we do. We have a main belt partial pen on the Hans Gruber now. Which makes it down nothing. Damage didn't know. It was 15.1. Now it's 14.1. It's the same. So, just, duking it out again. Trying to get as much hit as we can. But our secondaries are indeed attacking. Well, oh, the main guns are almost out on the Hans Gruber. Meanwhile, we still have shells to spare. Yikes. Yikes, yikes. So not very good shell saving for the main armament. If the secondary armament doesn't fire, the main has the 18 inches fire, or the 8 inches fire, and now the 18 inches fire. The main guns are 6 HE shells left and 158 armor piercing shells left across 4 guns. Secondary tower, partial pen. On the Hans Gruber, we brings it down nothing. No structural damage. Now it's the waiting game. We've lost our HE shells. But we do have AP shells. But not a lot of them. Not a lot of them. See what the distance is now, 14.4. So we're going to start turning a little bit towards the Hans Gruber now. Whoa. Batteries are running low. Okay, so you're going to hear the fan now, but you're going to hear the fan as I plug in. Gotta get back to this fight here. Not much has happened. But if you hear a whirring, it's my fan. Because this fight has gone on a lot longer than it should have. Now we're at risk of running out of ammunition for the main guns, but we have plenty of ammo for the secondary guns. Hans Gruber, on the other hand, has 4 shells of HE left and 158 AP shells left. So we're going to speed it up again. Wait for something interesting to happen. This has been a very, very intriguing fight. 2 very similarly designed ships, 2 very similarly, partial pen. 4 belt partial pen on the Von Beust, but the main gun penetration on the Hans Gruber. So we have 74 structural integrity, 81% buoyancy, and on the Hans Gruber, 68% structural, 92% buoyancy. It's not firing anymore. So we're out of range of the secondary guns now. So speed up. Again, it's 15.3 is the distance. 15.4, so I guess Hans Gruber is running away. He's trying to run away, at least. They have 102 shells left. We have 81 shells left. Main gun partial pen on the Von Beust. No ticks in the damage. Shiz. A lot of smoke now on the screen, and I don't like it. This is with the visuals of it all. I guess that's the way the wind is blowing. 8 is the distance. 15.7 is the speed now. Main belt partial pen on fire for the Hans Gruber. It does not change it. She's going 10 knots. We're going 15.9. Now, there's the hit. There's the hits. Main belt penetration. Main belt partial pen. Half belt partial pen on the Hans Gruber, which brings her structural integrity down to 65. We have 57 AP shells left. They have 100 AP shells left. We now have 53. We still have 100. Ricochet damage for us on the Von Beust. On the Hans Gruber as the shells come streaking towards her. Half belt partial pen. Now the Hans Gruber is on fire once more. Rear. We're gonna speed it up again. Where's she going? More shells about to land on the Hans Gruber. We have main belt partial pen and the Hans Gruber's on fire. 64 structural integrity now, and I don't see any shells coming in for the Von Beust, but she's definitely turning away now. If we look at this, we were directly towards her, and now we're not. So now she's definitely crossing the T. So we've got to turn ourselves. She has 88 shells left. We have 49. Now 45. They're wasting a lot more shells for the volley. 4 belt penetration, main gun, partial pen. Now we are flooding. 73% structure, 80% buoyancy now as our front compartments are flooding. On the Hans Gruber, however, 92 and 63. But we do, whoa! Main gun penetration, main belt penetration, 61% structural, and 92% buoyancy with flooding now for Hans Gruber. So she definitely did turn around. She's now going that way, due west, and we are still going northwest. So now we have to turn towards west, try and get this rear gun, which has not really done much to assist us in this fight, to get her into action. She has to turn around, though. We have 45 shells left. Hans Gruber has 31. She's wasting more ammo per volley. She's wasting about 8 ammo per volley. We're wasting 4. Ricochet, but we do have a main tower penetration on us. 73% structure, 72% buoyancy. Fire, flooding, and rudder damage. 61% structure with 90% buoyancy on the Hans Gruber. Get more hits on the Hans Gruber now. Half belt, partial penetration for her now. No, nothing with damage though. And I don't see which compartment is flooding on Hans Gruber. So, our buoyancy, however, is at 68% now. As this compartment and our front 2 compartments are flooding. Or it looks like it's just the front compartment actually now. We're trying to turn this big behemoth, but not much we can do. 25 shells left. We have 37 shells left. We're trying to get turns also so we can point these 8-inch guns towards her. Partial pen on the main gun. Other than that, it ricochets. 13.7 is the distance. Hans Gruber's 6-inch guns can fire. They're firing AP. They can fire at 14.2. So they're not turned towards us. And the Von Beust's 8-inch guns are not turned either. But we are definitely trying to turn this ship. That rudder damage is not helping us one bit. 60% buoyancy now, 73% structure. Now it's 59% buoyancy, 73% structure. 61% structural integrity and 87% buoyancy. I still cannot see which compartment. I see it. It's right in the middle. Middle compartment on the Hans Gruber is flooding. "57" buoyancy now, and the flooding stops on the Von Beust, but just in time for another volley to get ricocheted off, so nothing there. And there we go. Penetration on the main tower. 73% structural, 57% buoyancy left. Hans Gruber, we're about to. Now the 8 inches are firing. We have main belt, partial pen, main belt, partial pen, half belt, partial pen, but a 4 belt penetration. It's 59 structural, 85% buoyancy, and the flooding has begun with a fire. We have 33 ammunition left. They have 21, 19, 17, 15 shells left. On Hans Gruber, we have 33 shells left. About to be 29. 57% buoyancy, 73% structure, 59% structural, 83% buoyancy. Hits are about to land. Ricochets on the Von Beust. And on the Hans Gruber, shells are just about to come in here now. The 8-inch shells firing now from the secondary of the Von Beust. Could we see our first main belt partial pen on the Hans Gruber? 59 structural. Whoa! Now we have half belt partial pen and half belt penetration. 58% structural, 80% buoyancy, with more flooding on top of it. But the rest are blocked. 57% buoyancy on the Von Beust, and 73% structural on the Von Beust. Could we see the first upset of the tournament? Damage to the secondary gun, partial penetration. 58 structural, 77 buoyancy now as the Hans Gruber begins to flood, and her shells are coming in now. Ricochets. Ricocheted. And the ricochet. The Hans Gruber has 9 shells left. We have 25 shells left on the main guns. Half belt partial penetration. Half belt partial penetration on that. Whoa! Half belt penetration, half belt partial pen, half belt penetration, half belt penetration. The rudder on the Hans Gruber is now damaged. 56 structural, 74% buoyancy. Her rudder is now damaged as well. 4 belt partial pen. The 8 inchers and the 18 inchers doing their work. No, the 8 inchers, I think, doing their work. There's an 8 inch on the fore and 18 inches on the aft. It's going to be very interesting once each ship loses its ammunition. Now there's only 3 shells left of the main armament, and those are the only guns that can currently fire right now. 56% structural integrity, 71% buoyancy, compared to our 73% structural and 57% buoyancy, and it's all ricochets. Each block and each ricochet is a waste of a shell for the Hans Gruber, which is something that they cannot afford. Hans Gruber is 56% structural and 69% buoyancy. Just got hit. The rudder is repaired. The main belt partial pen. Whoa! Main belt partial pen. Secondary gun is destroyed. Secondary gun penetration. She's now on fire. It's the 3 block shells in a row. 48% structural. 67% buoyancy. Von Beust 73% structural. 57% buoyancy. And Hans Gruber is officially out of ammunition for the main guns, and her guns will fall silent until the 6 inchers get in a range. The 6 inchers AP can fire at 14.2 kilometers, and the distance right now is 12.4, but they're not pointed towards us. The angle is wrong. So the Hans Gruber is going to try and turn those 6 inchers towards us. Meanwhile, we have 17 shells left in the main guns, and a whole lot of secondary guns left. So I think we can, with confidence, main belt, partial pen, I think with confidence we can now charge in towards the Hans Gruber as we're getting ever closer. So those 8 inchers are going to get more and more dangerous as the thing goes on. 73% structural, 57% buoyancy currently for the Von Beust. And on the Hans Gruber, it's not good. 47% structural damage and 58% buoyancy with still flooding is still on fire. We've suffered 24% losses, and the Hans Gruber has suffered 26.8% losses. Not good news for the Hans Gruber running out of ammunition. But the Von Beust's 18-inch shells are also about to run out. Main belt partial pen. Hans Gruber is on fire even more. It's 47 structure, 53 buoyancy with still flooding and fire. 13 shells remain on the 18-inch guns. The distance was 12.1 last time we checked. Now it's 11.7. As the Von Beust going 15 knots compared to the Hans Gruber's 11.8. It's closing the gap. 6-inchers still not at the right angle. So Von Beust, controller of the stormy seas at the moment, on its way. If we can just keep chasing it down and keep firing those 18-inchers. It's on its way. 4-belt penetration. Hans Gruber's flooding. Half-belt partial pen and main belt partial pen. With Hans Gruber. She floods. 42% structural, 50% buoyancy, but it's going to go down with the flooding. Now it's 49. In fact, as more shells are about to hit Hans Gruber, there's nothing she can do until she gets those 6-inch guns angled, which I don't know why they're not. But the flooding is now 46% buoyancy, 42% structural still. The structural damage is not doing much, but the buoyancy might be what kills Hans Gruber. 45% structure, 42% structural integrity, and 44% buoyancy now. Just trying to, stay with Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber needs to get those 6-inch guns. Whoa, main gun penetration, main belt, partial pen, half belt partial pen, and the main gun, secondary main gun. It's why the Y turret now is destroyed on Hans Gruber. 40% structural damage and 40% buoyancy now. Does have one 6-inch gun aimed, but it's not firing, and I don't know why it's not firing. The distance is 11.1, but Hans Gruber has it. It has one target acquired. 8 hits, but it's all ricocheted. Why isn't it firing now? I have no idea why it's not firing now, actually. That's so weird. It's aimed, it's rotated, it's just not hitting. Half belt, partial pen, the rudder is damaged. On the secondary tower, partial pen, 39 structural damage, 33% buoyancy. Rudder is damaged, there's fires, and she's flooding. 39 structural, 32% buoyancy now for the Hans Gruber. Von Beust continuing to fire. He's about to be out of ammunition on the 18-inch guns. So the 18-inchers is about to fire its last shell, its last shot. Then it'll be up to the 8-inchers. And that's the last shot of 18-inch shells. 2 final shells heading towards Hans Gruber. Now it's up to the 18-inchers. 39% structural, 32% buoyancy. What can the last 2 18-inch shells do? Massive hits. Half-belt penetration on the Hans Gruber. 38% structural integrity, 31% buoyancy now. She's flooding and on fire still. 30% buoyancy now. Now it's up to the 8-inchers of the Von Beust. Try and finish the job if the buoyancy doesn't. Buoyancy's at 29 now. It's all blocked on Von Beust. On Hans Gruber, the distance. Don't actually know the distance. The distance is 10.7. What's our The APHE 12.9. I want to fire AP. I want to see what the armor piercing does for this. We're going to fire armor piercing now. Armor piercing secondary shells towards Hans Gruber, which is just taking hits. It cannot get the 6-inchers turned around and rotated, and that one 6-incher is not even firing. Ricochet, and it's a block hit. No more flooding. Stabilized at 26% buoyancy, 38% structural. I don't know why this gun is not firing. Where is this gun? It's all blocked. It's all blocked. Hans Gruber going 12.2 knots. Beust going 15. The distance is now 10.5 kilometers. It's just gonna get closer. Hans Gruber taking a massive beating, though. All it needs is a couple more of those 8-inchers to hit, and it's, that's gonna be it. We'll go auto. Turn these main guns off. They cannot fire anymore. Anyway. 10.4. They are getting closer. There's the 6-inch shells from Hans Gruber. Finally firing. No, it's the 5-inchers. The 5-inchers are firing. The 6-inchers are not. Aft belt partial pen on the Von Beust, 73% structural, 57% buoyancy. Aft belt partial pen, main belt partial pen on the Hans Gruber. It's 38% structural, 26% buoyancy, but no longer flooding. The only damage is the rudder. Now there's fire as the aft belt gets partially penetrated, and so does the forebelt. We're still at a 38, but now we're on fire. Now the Hans Gruber's on fire, but it's still at 38% structural integrity. Main belt partial pen for Von Beust, but however, main belt partial pen for Hans Gruber brings it down to 37% structural integrity. Now the 6-inch and 5-inch on that one side is firing. Aft belt partial pen on the Hans Gruber brings it down. It was 37% structural integrity. Is it still? It is still. But the fires are not helping it. Aft belt penetration even more on the Hans Gruber and the Von Beust. It's this one 18-incher on this side, right? It's these two 18-inchers on these sides that's shooting it. Main belt partial pen. Main belt partial pen on the Von Beust, though. And a main belt partial pen on the Von Beust as well. 37 structure still. Main belt partial pen. 6 damage, 73% structural. Still 57. Now it used to be the heavyweight match, and now it's, the heavyweights are tired and trying to do something. Aft belt, partial pen, aft belt. But main belt, partial pen, main belt, partial penetration. Now it is 37 still. Going 13.6 knots. She's going 15. The distance is 10.2. The battle doesn't end with running away. One of these ships has to go down. Main belt, partial penetration, main belt, partial penetration, aft belt, partial penetration. 37 structural still. It's not doing much. I'm gonna switch to the armor piercing. Maybe that'll do something. Aft belt and main belt partial penetration on Hans Gruber. 36. It's ticked down 1% now. The structural damage and structural integrity has. Let's see if AP can do something. Yes, it can. 4 and aft belt partial penetration on Hans Gruber. It's still 36, though. But, I mean... main belt partial pen for 2 different things, and now it's on fire. 36% structural integrity. 26 buoyancy. Main belt partial pen. Main belt partial pen. And the structural integrity is just not going down on the Hans Gruber. Armor's holding up. For how long? Main 4 belt, partial pens. Still no damage ticker. The Hans Gruber's guns have gone silent, I noticed. Ass belt, partial pen. Now it's gone down. Main belt, partial pen. Down by 1%. And I don't know whether it's from the shells or from the fire on Hans Gruber, but man, I don't even know. Half belt, partial pen, half belt, partial pen, half belt, partial pen, still 35. This is now 10 kilometers. Main belt, partial pen, main belt, partial pen. Still 35. We're gonna have to speed this up. See what happens here. Main belt, main gun, aft belt, partial pen. Main, aft, secondary tower, partial pen. Secondary tower, partial pen. We're gonna go back to main speed. Now the Hans Gruber is back on fire. It's now 34% structural integrity. Main gun, partial penetration. 4 belt, partial penetration. Main gun, partial penetration again for it. Still 34 structural integrity, so it's still holding up, kind of. Main belt, partial pen. Aft belt, partial pen. Funnel, partial pen now. So the funnel, if the funnel gets destroyed on this, there's 2 funnels. And it looks like one's down. Aft belt penetration, main belt, partial penetration, main belt, partial penetration. Sorry, aft belt, partial pen. And the armor's still holding up. But if you can get the funnel to get damaged, that'll drastically decrease the speed. I mean, it's 12.5 to 15. Main belt, 4 belt, partial pen. Main belt, partial pen, 4 belt, partial pen. 33% structural integrity as a fire again starts on the Hans Gruber. Damage to the funnel, partial pen, aft, and main belt, partial pen. You can see the fires off in the distance. It's 9.7 kilometers is the distance. 33% structural. So we're going to speed this up. Click on Hans Gruber. You can see what the hits are here. You can see what the hits are there. As we speed up this battle, just 32% structural. There's nothing I don't know why these guns are not firing. They're aimed, they just won't fire. 43% crew loss for the Von Beust. Or for the Hans Gruber. They're 24 on the Von Beust. 31% structural integrity now. It's just getting hit after hit after hit after hit. 9.2, 9.1 is the distance. Penetration chance is very much increasing. As I think there she is. So on the secondaries, we're going to go to armor piercing. We're going to try and destroy this thing once and for all. 31%, 26%. Main belt, partial pen, main belt, partial pen. Aft and main belt, partial pen. Main belt. Right there, 7.8. 7.7, 7.6. Look at her. She's going that way. We're going this way. So what's the maneuver here? That's the maneuver right there. No. That's the maneuver right there. Trying to keep the speed. Trying to keep her in the sights. 7.3, 7.2, 7.1. Then 6.9, maybe 6.9. Yeah, we're slowly catching up. 6.8. But we're taking a lot of hits now. I don't think we're able to fire. No. Is Hans Gruber, though? No, so I don't know where the firing is coming from. And where the damage was coming from, but now it's gone. Now we're firing now. 6, 5.9, because there's the ship right there. We've managed to catch up with her. So we're going to play it from here. Main and aft belt partial penetrations. 72% structural, 57% buoyancy on the Von Beust. Hans Gruber still 31%. She's right there. Compared to us, she's right there. We just cannot see her due to this rain. It's gale winds, it's stormy weather, and it's rough seas. That has so many accuracy debuffs. But still, with all the accuracy debuffs, it, it's still done nothing to deter this fight here. Excuse the weird jump cut there. Had to pause and do something, but we are back now. Back and ready. Hopefully watch this Hans Gruber die finally. Now it's at 30% structural integrity. As the distance is now 5.3. So speed up time. Now it's 5.2. As it lags. Now it's... So there's the ship. Hans Gruber, 4.7 now. Here's the distance. Just, man, oh man. And you can see the water trail, so you can see her outline now. See where she is, finally. This fight's taken so long. We might... I don't know how to finish this. This is 3.5. If we get... Okay. If we get close enough, if we can turn this ship around fast enough, I might... I have the structural integrity, and she does not. F belt partial pen on that. On the still 30. I have the structural integrity. I don't have the... Now she's hitting us. Now she's hitting us a lot. So now the secondary gunfight goes. So now it's like old 18th century warships duking it out, fighting it off. 71% structure, though. Right, her 30. 12.8 is our speed. 12.7 is theirs. And because we're turning. Still turning, but now we're on fire. Now we have 70% structural. No ammo. For the 8-inchers. No HE on the 8-inchers. So now we're just going to the AP here. I don't think it's doing much. Oh no, it is doing something. It's too quick to... As we're just trading off fights, or we were trading off shells now. Now it's angled too far. Now it's 29% structural. We're 3.2 kilometers out, 3.1 kilometers out. Duking it out. 5-inchers. And our 4-inchers, duking it out here. We might just run out of it. Von Beust just might run out of ammunition. We're out of ammunition here. This is about to be out of HE shells. Not running AP shells, which are being ricocheted because we're so close. There's the stern. I might have to ram this thing to sink this the Hans Gruber. I might have to ram it because the shells are not working. I don't know if we have the buoyancy for it though. 69% structural, 57% flotation. 629. This is like, I don't know. The rule is a teacher can challenge the results of a fight. So I'm trying to turn this ship around, but it's not turning. I have no HE shells left. I only have AP shells. And they're ricocheting off. Hans Gruber has a whole bunch of shells left. Okay, there we go. She's going straight now. So we just turn, get there. She's there. If we can just turn and go this way, we might be able to catch her. We're going 13.6, 13.7. We're increasing. She's going 12.3. I think the only way to finish this, and it's so bad visibility-wise, so it's not going to look good. It's not going to look cool like it usually does when you're ramming a ship. I think the only way to sink this ship and actually get something to happen is to ram the two. And I don't like ramming, and it's always a last resort for me. But these two are just not dealing enough damage. They're just not. It's like 14.2 knots. Hans Gruber's going 12.3. So 5-inchers are now firing. Her 5-inchers. And it's close enough to do damage. 7 kilometers is the distance. Just don't have that. We just don't have the. We have no ammunition left. We have to ram it. It's come down to us having to ram the thing in order to get. Look how close this is too. I think. Oh, we might actually do this. We might actually get close enough to ram it. We 14.6 knots. Hans Gruber is going 12.3. We're going 2 knots quicker. She's trying to turn around, turn away from us. Her rudder is still damaged. Our rudder is damaged. It's so slow. Her guns are actually doing a little bit of damage to us. I don't know how to end this. I think I just have to wait until either she can't fire anymore or the guns are out. Hold on. I'm gonna have to jump cut again real quick. Excuse the jump cut again. Again, had to go do something. And again, the only way for the Von Beust to win this battle is to ram the Hans Gruber. Hans Gruber's going 12.4 knots. We're going 14.5. It's 1.2. It's the distance. I don't know. Is this a cheap way to do it? I think it's a cheap way. I don't think this is a cheap way. I think it's the only way. It is. It's the only way for the Von Beust to win this. Hans Gruber still has a buttload of shells, but is almost done sinking. 65 structural. Oh, it might hit. Oh, it's gonna be close. Setting up for it. We'll go normal speed now. We'll go double speed. Double speed for a little bit. As it's so close, the distance, 0.7 kilometers now. Only one 5-inch cone is aiming and firing. .2, 10.4. Speed it to times 3. Here we go. It's close. You can now see You can now see it. Is this a cheap way out? I have no idea. Hans Gruber cannot fire anymore due to angle. Boost. It's about to hit. It's gonna hit here. 13 knots compared to 10.4 at 12 knots. Now here's the ramming. Now we're gonna slow it down here. Hans Gruber, 25 structural. 24. 23. 55 for 53, 20, 20. I'm not even going to look at it. We're just going to keep doing this. And we're going to see what actually happens. Who dies first? This is Control Alt Shift Z. Alt Shift Z. And see which one dies first. 7, 31, 5, 4, 28, 3. Yep, it's gonna be Hans Gruber is the one which is gonna die first after it. After this type of fight, I mean, wow. Just wow. Yep, that's it. Ooh. Hans Gruber goes down though. Let's just analyze this a little bit. Hans Gruber dealt 26,000 damage. Von Beust dealt 53,000. Hans Gruber received 11 floodings compared to Von Beust's 4. Von Beust got on fire 101 times compared to Hans Gruber's 48. Hans Gruber lost 100% of the crew, while Von Beust lost 46%. Hans Gruber had a better main gun accuracy at 77 compared to 54 on the Von Beust. Same with the, but not the same with the secondary guns. The Hans Gruber had the same accuracy at 77%. Von Beust's secondary gun accuracy was 83. Torpedoes, there were no torpedoes. Hans Gruber had 26% ammo left. Von Beust had no ammo left. Main gun status 50% for the Hans Gruber as we knocked out 2 of them, and 77% for the Von Beust. Sorry, 50% for the Hans Gruber. Secondary gun status 79 for the Hans Gruber and 83 for the Von Beust. 54% fuel left on Hans Gruber and 62 for Von Beust. That was a weird one. Weird ending to it, at least. It was, yeah. But I mean, that's how it did. Each teacher knows the rules. Yeah, each teacher knows you can challenge, so if you can challenge and have a good reason for a challenge, we'll look at it. This is one that if you want to challenge this one, I wouldn't be too surprised. But at the moment, oops, actually, I gotta exit out of this fight first. At the moment, is Von Beust who wins. Moves on to the semifinals. But yeah, no, we'll look at it and see what the actual decision is to be. Until then, as you can see, the next fight won't happen until at the day of filming 2 days, but at the day of release for this video, it'll be tomorrow. So no filming on the day of release for this video here. Which it will be Mr. McEwan again, the HMS Butterworth, taking on myself and the Russian battleship Admiral Nikimov. Yeah, Admiral Nikimov. So, thanks for joining us in a pretty weird one today. I'll see you in the next one for the UK and Russia. Till then, goodbye.